Thank you for tuning in to the reading produced by Black Spectrum Network. Click the subscribe button and hit the bell button to get the latest updates on this channel. You can purchase a private psychic reading by going to www.blackspectrumnetwork.com. If you want spiritual guidance to learn how to work with your ancestors, or you're interested in deepening your spiritual experiences, then subscribe to our Patreon. You can get these and other videos at least 1 week ahead of their YouTube release date. That's patreon.com/Black Spectrum Network. All right, we're going to go ahead and get into this reading about Kenya Moore and Marc Daly. Okay, so the first question we're going to be asking is, why are Kenya and Marc Daly divorcing? All right. It looks like from what I'm saying from the cards, Kenya has she has issues with her mom. Like she's still working through I would say childhood problems. Even through her adulthood. I get that she's been perhaps overly maternal or overly protective of her baby, and I feel like she doesn't know how to share the responsibilities. I feel like they're having issues co-parenting, where she is being a lot more controlling in the marriage, and I feel like it's not giving him room to be a father or to be intimate with his daughter. I'm also saying that Kenya's very smart, but I feel like she's over. She's not. How do I say this? It's in a way I feel like in her relationship she's trying to fit into a sex role, like she's trying to be a traditional wife, but it's not working for her personality. And her husband is looking. He fits that traditional patriarchal husband model. So I think she's trying to fit into that, and she can't seem to identify as a wife first. She's identifying as a mother. So I'm saying that that's one problem that they're having. The other thing is Kenya feels like she can't get through to Marc. She's feeling like she can't. She feels like she can't get him to emote. She feels like he's guarded with his feelings, and that he's romantic, but he's not affectionate and sensitive. And Kenya is looking for someone that's affectionate and sensitive, and she's very sensitive. I'm saying herself, and she's possessive, but I'm saying that they are struggling to find a common ground in the ways that they communicate with each other. I don't think that I don't think that they have. I think that both of them communicate like business people, kind of like you'll take your turn to talk, I'll take my turn to talk, but I feel like he's a lot more stubborn than she is, and I feel that he wants her to acquiesce to his demands or to submit to his demands. He's not as compromising, and she wants him to. And I do feel like there are times where she can try to cry, and she wants to get him to how do I say this? She wants to get him to empathize with her, but it doesn't always work. Okay, so another thing is that I feel like she wants to share her wealth with him, and she wants him to be more open to sharing his life with her through the Real Housewives show, but I get that he is very resistant to that. Like he's like, I'm open to, showing up and, making an appearance maybe here or there, but he's very wishy-washy about it. He commits to the idea sometimes, and then sometimes he says that this isn't gonna work. And I feel like they really do love each other though. Like I don't doubt at all that they genuinely do love one another. But let me see. They love each other because they're both trying to have a power couple relationship. I get that they both understand why the other needs to be in public, but his level of what he wants to have is, I guess you could say, he likes that Kenya has a cult following, but he doesn't want to have people in his personal business. It's like he wants to be popular. He wants to have fame, but he realizes that it comes with things that he's not really ready to commit to having, or commit to doing. So I feel that in their relationship, they're finding it difficult to actually be a power couple. Like how does that actually function between them is what I feel like they're asking themselves. I'm seeing that the relationship, they stopped having sex with each other. And I feel like this happened maybe a month into the marriage. I feel like I feel like they have called it quits for a minute now. And I don't feel like this was new. I feel like whenever she announced it, I'm filming this on September the 25th. Okay. So I'm filming this on September the 25th. So I feel like this happened maybe a month ago. But I also feel like they started having sex maybe a month and a half, 2 months ago. Let me see. Why was that? Okay. So I do think that the rumor reports are true, because I am privy, because I've read the article, that I saw or heard that he may have cheated on her, and I do see that here in the cards, but I feel like she was suspicious about it. About him having another soulmate, but and I feel like that's what caused them to not want to have, her not to want to have sex with him, and then she got confirmation about it. But I feel like they haven't been together for a minute. But I feel like they were supposed to have. I feel like they were supposed to have. They were obligated to film together. Like the last time that they were seen with each other, I feel like they were obligated to be seen with each other. Let me turn down this brightness on this camera. All right. That should be a lot better. Hope you all can see the cards. But yeah, that's what I see here. All right. So that's what I see happening with them. All right. So let's see. Can they resolve their issues? Can they resolve their issues? Can they resolve their issues? So do you all think that Kenya and her husband can resolve their issues? Let me hear what you all have to say in the comments. Also, if you're enjoying this reading, hit the skull emoji. So, well, Kenya would have to get off of Real Housewives of Atlanta in order to save the marriage. I feel like she's very much committed to. Kenya's committed to influencing people. She likes having a cult following. She likes people talking about her. She likes feeling supported. But she also feels like it's a form of acting for her. And I'm seeing that she's very much committed to this role, and she feels that being on this show is it's not the height of her. She's like, this won't be the pinnacle point of my career, is what she's telling herself. But she feels that this is her magnum opus. This is her. She loves what she does. And she's not willing to give that up, but she would need to let that go. And he's worried about. The other thing is it very much depends on how much Kenya talks about why they are divorcing. If she can remain mum, I think that they're gonna have a really good chance at keeping it together. But the thing is that he's like, no, we can't. You cannot talk about this. You can't talk about this to the public. This isn't fodder. We have a kid together. We got married. So, for him, he feels like he's like, I don't want people to know what my real temperament is. I want to remain a mystery. People don't need to know. He's like, he's just like, I'm a regular civilian, and I'm trying to stay a regular civilian. He wants to be John Doe, But I feel like Kenya is going to start dating again within about 7 months. I see her with another gentleman, and I think that's going to make it difficult for her to get back with him. Let's see. And because the cars are going back and forth, this is interesting. I get that he's how do I say this? I get that for him, he's like, he's trying to not get sucked back into the relationship. I get that he's very stubborn. Like, even though he knows that he has to reach out to her and apologize to her. He has to come up with a plan of action that makes both of them feel comfortable doing this relationship with each other. I don't know if he's willing to do that. But I do see that she's expecting him to reach out to her. All right, now we're gonna look into why. What did Kenya not like about her husband? Let's see. What does she not like about her husband? Okay. He had so she didn't like the fact that he wanted to treat her. Kenya's a grown woman. Like, she's very adult minded, but in a relationship she can be very childlike. She is very girly, and he was kind of he was trying not to be her father in a way. Like, he's like, I'm my own man, I move this way, and she had expectations that he would be a lot more like her father or remind him of her father. He's very masculine, but he's masculine in a way that I would say that he's definitely very assertive. He believes that what he knows is the truth, and what he knows has to be the truth. I get that he's a very no nonsense sort of man, and I don't know if he's exactly the most. I get that he can be selfish, but and Kenya feels like she needs to be considered more frequently. But I also get that she has this natural ability to just move through the disappointments, like the times that he doesn't meet the expectations that she doesn't communicate to him, the times that he doesn't use his intuition to figure out what she needs. She just, how do I say this? She just gets over it, or just tries to bury it. I also get that he brought into the marriage some debt, or there's an inheritance that he's not allowing her to access. Maybe they had like a prenuptial agreement or something, but it's either he has debt that he brought into the marriage, or there's an inheritance that she can't access. And that's another thing. It's like that drove them apart as well, where she's like, let me see. I'll be able to figure it out. Which one is it? I feel like there's debt that he came with in the marriage. I don't feel like it's an inheritance she's being blocked from. She feels that through being married to him, she's responsible for some of the expenses that come with just being married to him, but mainly she expects him to, she's like, put up or shut up when it comes to our daughter, and don't half-ass it when it comes to our daughter. She's very serious about how she wants her, what she wants her daughter to have, and how she wants her daughter to benefit from those things. Okay. All right. So let's see. I want to know, what did Mark not like about Kenya? Okay. Well, Mark is mean. Mark is mean. He's like, he feels like he was very attracted to Kenya, but he's like, she's not focused on her money the way that she needs to be focused on her money. He's like, he wanted her to be more business minded, or to commit to establishing a business. But then when she got pregnant, I see that he wanted her to be an actual housewife, but I'm also I'm also seeing that he's looking for a very deep soulmate experience, and he needs to feel like the relationship between them is more than just karmic, and it's more than just sexual. It's more than just for the public and we look good together. But he himself, he's not really ready to go. He's not really ready to change his standards and expectations. I feel like he's a little bit unrealistic for wanting that. I feel like he's just overall just not really satisfied with Kenya. And he doesn't feel like he has to do more work. He feels like she's trying to use him. He's like, I don't like that you post me, don't post the baby, he wants to keep, he's very private, and he feels that Kenya, it's like he thought that he could get her to stop selling herself short. And I think that he has a disdain for like reality TV. And I think that be he was trying something new, and he was trying his best to support Kenya through being on Housewives, but he's also like, I don't know if I really like my wife being a housewife. I don't know if I'm really committed as a husband to helping her on this sort of platform. So how does the divorce affect Kenya on this season of The Real Housewives of Atlanta? Oops. Okay. All right. So the first thing that I'm seeing is that okay, so the first thing that I'm saying here is that the way that it affects her is, a lot of people in the group are going to be saying we saw this coming. We knew that this was going to happen. We're not surprised. And a lot of the younger and newer women are going to a lot of the younger and newer women are going to be very silent, but it's going to be the older and more seasoned women. So I'm saying, like, the newer cast members, and the new cast members are going to be, they're going to try to be empathetic in a way, but inquisitive. But the older women are going to say that they knew that this was going to happen, that they saw it coming. Now, what was interesting is that, now I watch Housewives. I feel like this is Nene Leakes. I feel like this is Nene. And I feel like this is going to be a major talking point for Nene. I feel like she's going to have a lot to say. And I feel like she's going to have a lot to say because it's a moment where she can take pleasure in humiliating Kenya. And I don't feel like it's just to poke fun at Kenya. I feel like she wants to really dig into her about that. Nini's going to have questions about whether he was cheating on Kenya or not, and whether he was truly satisfied with the marriage, and were they really married, is what she's going to be asking. And she feels like he was never really committed to her, and that it may have all just been just been a flex, like an agreement, or she's very suspicious. She has I feel like she's gonna have a lot of she has a lot of questions. I'm not sure exactly what approach she's trying to take, but I do feel like she's going to try to approach her saying that, I've been through a divorce before. This is how I'm hearing it. I've been through a divorce before, but at the same time, I had to talk about it, and you need to talk about it to a good girlfriend. But I also feel like in the confessional, she'll have something else to say. Also, how are they going to divide? Like, what was he doing for money? Like, how is he going to support her, and the baby? What's gonna come of that? And, yeah. All right. Oh, wait, got to read this bottom row. Well, I'll just keep those two cards right there. All right. So, oops. All right. So, the other thing that I'm saying here is that, Kenya's put in a really interesting position, because she's either going to have to show that she's grieving this and show she's truly hurt by the divorce, or she's going to have to move on as though the divorce is not hurting her and start dating again very soon. And I'm like, I feel like in 7 months she's going to be dating somebody else. She has to refrain from describing him as abusive, or trying, like, she has to I get that she has to refrain from saying that, because people are gonna, it's like Kenya has to be very clever in how because she doesn't want to disparage him publicly, and she doesn't want to create more tension between her and her child's father, so she has to be very careful about what she tells. So she wants to tell the truth, but then she doesn't want to tell the truth, because she can't, like, she's like, I'm damned if I do, I'm damned if I don't. Another thing that I'm saying here is that he's going to show up again. I get that they're going to try to get him to have a conversation with her, or get her to have, like, get her to call him and talk on the phone. But I'm seeing them pushing for that. I'm really seeing them putting pressure on her to make something happen, so that they can know. They're like, we need to cover the divorce. I feel like the network is going to pressure her to do that. How's she going to respond, though? I feel like, yeah, there's going to be a lot of pressure on her, from the network, not just the cast. She's gonna find a creative way to get him on, to get him to converse with her, but it's gonna create a lot of tension between them. I'm not exactly even sure about, like, how much they can get him to say. I feel like it may just be a scripted little conversation where they're just happy, and like, chit chatting about parenting, and she maybe hugs him at a restaurant or something. But all right, so all right, so what was the reaction from the production company at Bravo to the divorce? What did they feel at Bravo? All right. They were pretty much like, it's almost like Kenya was a very fragile hire, and I'm not sure if they really wanted her back. I feel like they offered her. I feel like she's on a charade sort of contract. I feel like Kenya's under very heavy scrutiny. I feel like they're expecting her to bring a lot to the table, and to bring a lot of meat to the show. I do feel like she's going to be expected to overperform, and I feel like the way that they're reacting to it is that, like, they're like, okay, this is, a strike against her, and they're looking at her they're looking at her really closely, and they're like, what type of content can you give us from what's going on? You can't fake this, and you're going to have questions to answer, and I'm not exactly sure she's going to be able to. I feel like she's going to have to take the brunt of, like, having to overshare, like, being burdened with oversharing, her emotions, or oversharing information about what's going on with her divorce. I do feel like they're going to allow her to start things off light, in terms of just, like, what she portrays and how she, the divorce is being discussed. But I feel like it's gonna be really heavy at the reunion for her. I do feel that. And they are sad. Because they're disappointed, because they were like, we really wanted her to be married. They were really enjoying. They were like, okay, we were enjoying this, the direction things were headed in. Bringing her back on the show, was good, and I feel like they're disappointed that happened. I do feel like they do. The production company has a heart. All right. So what's next for Kenya's love life going forward? What do you all think is next for her love life going forward? Tell me in the comments. And if you're enjoying this reading, hit the skull emoji. Did you all know that I have mentorship programs? Have you all signed up for my mentorship program? And make sure you all go to Patreon to get, the latest updates. And all the good content that comes on this channel. She and Marc are going to be going back and forth. This divorce is not going to happen immediately. I don't even think that she's filed yet. I think that they are separated. I think that this is it's. I feel like she's going to try to date someone else, but I don't feel like she's going to be divorced for a minute. Like, and I feel like there's still skepticism around her, like, if she's really married. I feel like there's a lot of skepticism around if that's really her husband too. But because that's what the cars are saying. Like, they're like, the show is, going to want to know, is if the divorce is real, is the divorce really happening? But I'm not sure if I don't think this is going to be, immediate. Yeah, there's going to be some pressure on her to bring. It's almost like, how do I say this? I feel like the show is kind of like, well, if you want to stay on the show, you have to, you're going to have to bring some drama. You're going to have to bring a family. You're going to have to bring like dating and who's going to be the most valuable to and committed to showing us that side of themselves. I'm getting that. What I'm getting from this is that for her dating life, her love life for now, she's gonna be single and emotionally single and still working things out with Mark for a while. But I do see her dating another guy in like 7 months. So yeah. Thank you all for tuning in to The Reading, produced by Black Spectrum Network. Click the subscribe button and hit the bell button to get the latest updates on this channel. You can purchase a private psychic reading by going to www.blackspectrumnetwork.com. If you want spiritual guidance to learn how to work with your ancestors, or you're interested in deepening your spiritual experiences, subscribe to our Patreon. You can get these and other videos at least 1 week ahead of their YouTube release date. That's patreon.com/Black Spectrum Network. Before I go, I'll leave you with these words of wisdom from the rapper Dreezy. Gave mercy to these hoes. What would Jesus do? I'm your reader, Nexo, and remember, the truth is always collaborative.
So fuel my fire, take me higher, I'll be your liar too. Cause when we're here, there's nothing better than the sky.